Today we're going to be talking about how to graph lines in standard form. Now before we get into this, let's just review what we did last time. Last time we were able to graph equations of lines that were in slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and graph this. We start by determining what the slope is, which is 2/3, and that tells us that we're going to go up 2 and to the right 3. The y-intercept is -4. So I'm going to start at -4 on the y-axis, and then I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 3. And then I can draw a line through those 2 points. Now, when your graph is not in slope-intercept form, what you'll have to do is you'll have to solve for y, in other words, put it into y equals mx plus b form, and then you can graph it just like you were doing before. Let's take a look at an example of this. So here we have x plus 2y equals 4. Now this is not in y equals mx plus b form, so we're going to have to move things until we have y by itself. Let's start by moving the x over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. That's going to leave me with 2y equals -x plus 4. And then to get y by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. That leaves me with y on the left, and then on the right, I have -1/2 x plus 2. Now I can see that the slope is -1/2, which means I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 2. And then my y-intercept is 2. So let's start by finding 2 on the y-axis. And then I'm going to use the slope to find a second point. I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 2. And again, you could continue doing this until you have more points, but you really only need 2 points to draw your line. All right, let's look at example 2. We have -3x plus 2y equals -8. So again, this is not in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to get y by itself. So let's start by adding 3x to both sides. That leaves me with 2y equals, and then I'm going to write the x term first, so 3x minus 8 on the right. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. That leaves me with y on the left, and then 3/2 x minus 4 on the right. Okay, so the slope here is 3/2, and the y-intercept is -4. So the slope being 3/2, that means we're going to move up 3 and to the right 2. Now let's start with -4 on the y-axis, and I'm going to move up 3 and to the right 2 to get my next point, and then I can draw my line through those 2 points. All right, now let's look at example 3. We have y equals -2. Now if it's helpful for you, you can see this as being y equals 0x minus 2. And that will show you that the slope is 0, which means it's actually just a horizontal line. And b is -2. Now if you remember at the end of last time, when we talked about these special cases, when you have just x equals a number or y equals a number, you have either a horizontal or vertical line. So when y is equal to a number, that gives you a horizontal line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find -2 on the y-axis, and then I'm going to draw a horizontal line going through that point. All right, our last example is another special case. We have x equals 3. So remember, when we have x equals a number, this is going to be a vertical line. So do we see that there is a value for m? No. How about for b? No. So this is just a vertical line. So what we're going to do is we're going to find 3 on the x-axis and draw a vertical line going through that. You'll notice here that there is never going to be a y-intercept. That's why there's no b value. And for the slope, remember that slope is rise over run. this is really just, well, if you pick any 2 points, you'll have some value for your rise, but for run, it's going to be 0, which means that the slope is going to be undefined.